Well, I'm not sure if there's too many decisions to make on our holds and our sells, but yeah, you can see here very, very clearly Garrick with the injury. He is gone skis. We've got Jackson 4 with the suspension. And then we do have a fair few 50-50 decisions. Latrell's probably closer to a sell, given he missing this week and definitely next week with the bye as well. So let's go through the rest of the options here. So Addin Fonua-Blake at 598. So the big question with him, if you're in a very important prelim head-to-head final, I like it as a potential move this week. If you're sitting there with sort of 3 of those dud sort of cheapies, the Talented Silvers, Nathan Lawson, guys that aren't playing. If you've got a Garrick as well, if you're sitting with Hynes on the bye also, then this kind of move could work for you. There's just a few caveats with it. So just have a look at your team. If you're sitting there with only 16 good players and maybe 1 or 2 duds, you want to loop early. And if it doesn't go that great, I think definitely you could sell Addin. I do also see with McInnes being out that these final 2 weeks, he should get some good minutes and hopefully can get a good score. But it has been very, very awful. Outside of the last 2 weeks were much better, but the 4 before that, not so great either. I expect him to go back to these mid-50s type scores for the final 2 rounds. So if you can hold on, if you can manage it, I would do that. Now, Blayke Brailey, no way in the world you should be selling this man. I get if you have like 4 or 5 trades and you want to sell one of these more expensive guys for your head-to-head week to get the gun player, sweet. 4 minimum to sell him, I think. Yes, there's the needing to win, the prelim, all that kind of stuff, but surely there's another guy you can muck around with, or if you've got that many double trade, go down to a cheapie to get a looper and then go up to a gun. That type of scenario there. So Brayley, really, really good scorer. Do not sell. Watson. Now, if you're sitting in sort of in the 2 range, 2-3, I think that he's fine to upgrade. I'm personally not going to do it. I'm just going to sit him there and use him as looper or like a final decision if I need to make an upgrade type of thing. Yeah, but just the 2 scores, the last 2 games have been his worst for the year, and it's not even been close. Apart from, the pretty average one in round 8 there, which he's actually run the footy. The last few weeks, he's just 3 weeks anyway, completely avoiding running the footy. So that's the goal, is to get him back to that. And even, we got pretty lucky on that 45-metre one for a 4 tackle break, 1 offload effort, and a few turnover tackles too. So for him, you don't want to have to be playing him straight out. And if you've got 2 or 3 trades, if it gets to that point where you're like, he's on the bench, he gets named there. With them playing a later game of the week, that's the kind of worry about it, is that there's less guys for you to trade to. Now, if you're sitting there without like a Walsh, he could be sold, he could be bought, given they play the following game. If we find out in the 24-hour update, which you probably won't, but just in general, if you just don't want to play him, you can easily sell him with, I think, 2 or 3 trades to get a better 17 scorer, which there are a fair few at that price point. If you want to go a little bit early, you can go Tino. You can also go Hopgood in the same game. So a few different things you can do with Watson, but holding and looping and just have him as like your 18th scorer is fine also. I've got LKT and these kind of guys ahead of him very easily. Nico Hynes, I don't really think you should be selling. He's got the upside games in him. We've got a 93 and a 73 in the past 6 weeks. So I think that in itself is a reason why you shouldn't be selling him. Just loop him, get through it. He's got Newcastle and Dogs in 2 important games for them to try and make the top 4 as well. So I couldn't do it personally. Similar situation with Brayley, basically. Isaiah, if he actually doesn't play this week, and we're going to find out early in the second game of the week, then there is an argument to sell him because his shoulder's obviously not right. I doubt he's going to play big minutes in the last few, and probably less chance of scoring as well as like Hynes and Brayley. And if you need to win this week, if you're going to play short, whatever it else is there with Isaiah, then I think selling him works slightly better than the Sharks boys, but I would hold him more than Watson. Latrell, well, he's definitely missing 2 of the next 3 weeks and may miss the last week as well. We don't know. So out of all these guys, he is the clear sell, and you could hold for 1 week, but it's also tough. If he's your last trade, then I do understand holding in a way. Now, Jolliffe, unfortunately, knee injury, and he's out for the year, so must sell for him. He's been doing well, but a good price point to get a lot of players that you would want. Foketi at 427, a sell every single week, and unfortunately for him, a 15 in 32 minutes. The last 3 weeks have been awful for minutes there, and his PPM hasn't been great either, so yeah, they've got Wong back this week as well. Very, very limited minutes up for grabs, and if you can sell him to Wishart and these types of guys, do so. Latu Fainu, it's very, very hard to move him on. Please try not to play him. 52 minutes for 0 on the weekend was pretty gross. He could improve from that. He could come out and get a 50-odd minute 20 or something like that. And looks likely that he'll play every game. But if you have extra cash available, if you manage to get that somehow, then going up would be a really good idea. Sideways swapping him to like a Billy Walters should get some better scores as well. So there's something there. And then Reuben Garrick, personally, I think he's just going to stick in my side for this week at 428. He's out for the year, but the price is just so rubbish that you can't really get him to anyone of note. So that's where holding him would be fine, and using him to loop in centre and wing fullback. He plays later in the week. When I say later, you can get the first 3 games to loop and make a decision with him before he gets locked out. So that's that one. That is the holds and the sells. Very, very simple this week. There's less guys that are actually on that list, and for that, that who's not list as well, in how you want to play it. So there you go, guys. We'll leave it there for the holds and the sells. It's getting shorter and shorter every single week. Big thanks to everyone for still tuning in. We've got big reviews at the end of the season, and we'll be prepping and doing a flash sale, 48-hour flash sale there, of getting all of the goodies that you get from being a returning member for the private group. I'm going to give that away for 48 hours post the end of the season. So stay tuned for that. I'll show you everything that is involved in next year, all the added benefits and all the extra goodies coming into our 4th year of doing it. So can't wait to see how all that plays out. And yeah, we'll see you in the next couple of videos.